Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the channel. It's your first time around here. Well, here yet again, we're here in London, and today we are here to save the children. Long night, so News Now Yorkshire took me out to rugby last night. Didn't get home till about 12, half 12. I got maybe 1 hour's kip at home, and I tried to get some kip on the coach, but when you're juggling around. But I see, I was looking at News Now Yorkshire, and he had his head up window. But yeah, we're here guys, the stage is just getting set up over here, and we're going to shortly be heading round to Russell Square to meet the start of the demo. So we'll check in with you shortly guys. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, well, I'm staying here. Right, don't forget we're getting here.
So folks, we are here now. We're at the meeting point for Russell Square. Plenty of familiar faces. We've got about an hour and a half or so before they'll start marching, so we'll knock about, see some people, see what's going on, and yeah, meet some peoples.
Yes, brother. I watch your videos, man.
Right,
yes, brother. Nice to meet you, brother. You alright, though, yeah?
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, you're alright, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Andy, bro.
You alright, mate?
Alright, mate.
Very good.
Did he just call me Andy? I swear he just called me Andy. Must have had me confused with someone else. You right, Andy?
Hey, mate.
Very good.
Good to see you here, mate.
Always at it, you know us.
Let's see what happens today, innit?
Yeah, man. Should be a good one. Easy, you alright?
It's got to be Pete, do you know what I mean? We're going to be peaceful. We're all here for one thing and one thing.
That's it, bro. Absolutely.
Our women and our children.
Absolutely. Keep you look at her. She's informing already. She's informing. She's snitching. She's snitching.
Come on, you know I'm joking. Calm down.
Nice to see you, Marty.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Have a good day.
I certainly will do, you do too.
Your channel, you know I watch all your videos.
Thank you very much.
Good day, sweetheart.
Bless.
Good lad.
Very good, mate, very good.
Marty. We've got a bit of a problem. We've got Millwall or something, and we've got Chelsea that side. He said, I begged him.
Yeah.
They must be rivals.
That's the second one I've done with you.
Respect. Alright.
I can't see you, so
Chris Galang.
No, he's fine. He's got full custody of his kids. So he's just looking after them a bit full time. He will be coming back soon. We've got some stuff in the pipeline. Grandad Brian.
How you doing, mate?
Very good, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Well, I suppose you're here. You're up north, aren't you?
I always come down for big stuff and that. Good, mate, yeah. Wendell's getting Ryan straight in there.
Right, let's build leaving us.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Here we are, guys. The match is now starting, and we've got a decent walk down to Whitehall. and we'll get the camera set up at the front of the stage. Hey, Marty!
Can't be asked going live.
No, I'm not live, no.
You don't get a signal anyway.
Well, shout out to DP, everybody.
Big up your chest, people.
The size of them ears on that guy, Mush. No.
Yes, now.
Here we go. Got it, I think.
Big up. The crowd is a bit further behind. We're just staying at the front. Really, really warm. Looks like it's a match for them guys, look. I love you, Antifa.
What time will I watch it?
The exact opposite, but yeah. How are you feeling about the numbers, man?
Good actually. I'm relatively surprised.
Yeah.
Considering like usually with this sort of crowd, you need to have like big figureheads like Tommy. But it's now showing that everyone's united. Even if someone like Tommy can't make it, everyone will come out.
And what is it? Are you excited about the prospect of a national inquiry, or do you think it's going to be swept under the rug?
It doesn't really matter if they do an inquiry or not. Nothing's going to happen. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's just bureaucracy. But it's still good to have one.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tusi. Enjoy your demo.
No worries.
Hello. What's that say there, guys?
Refugees not welcome.
That's what it says. Right, guys, can you read that? To the friendship of English-speaking peoples. There we go, guys. Look at all these people. So, guys, we're just approaching Whitehall here. I've got myself nice and up to the front, so I don't have to fight with, you know, tens of thousands of people to get into the media pen. So, yeah, try to make myself a little bit of an easier life.
What can I call it? An army walked on the streets of London, and we named ourselves the Football Lads Alliance. Mate, we had the first march we had in June 2017. In 3 weeks, we got together 10,000 lads. The next one in October, we had 75,000 football lads walking side by side. Not one arrest. Not one arrest. And today we done the same thing. We walked in. We have to put our differences aside. This is for our children. Yeah. And I want to thank all the football lads that are here today for walking together again. Unbelievable, lads. You're amazing. So when we had the big march in 2017, like I said, there was no arrests. But all of a sudden, the left come out and deemed us far right and racist, yeah? Listen, this ain't about race. This ain't about colour. This is about our children, yeah? And every single man and woman out there that has a preference for younger kids, whether doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter what race you are, the For the Children campaign are coming for you. I'm going to hand you over to Justin. We've got some amazing speakers. Listen to what this man's got to say. Please stay and listen, yeah? And then we'll all go afterwards and we'll all have a drink together, yeah? Thank you for coming.
Well, hello everyone. I'd like to reiterate what Phil just said. Give yourselves a massive round of applause. I've doffed my hat to every single one of you that put feet on the ground today or has put feet on the ground over the last 8 years that we, as football lads, have been campaigning for a national inquiry. We first started that in 2017, and there might have been the odd person doing it, but there weren't many. So there's a lot of people that jumped on the bandwagon lately, maybe for political gains, but we were here in 2017 calling for a national inquiry. And what we did, that first march that Phil told you about, 10,000, And then the second one, 75,000 people on the streets, side by side, firms from all over this country, and concerned parents and grandparents, the same as today. Not everyone here is a football lad. We've got concerned parents and grandparents and children from all over this country, from all walks of life, of all colour, here together as one people, one colour, one nation. Following 2017, the big march in London, we got requests from people to go to some of these towns, what are known in this country as the grooming towns, yeah? And from Telford, Rochdale, Rotherham, there's 50 of these towns, maybe more all over Britain, with 250,000 kids that have been abused over the years. While this government and other governments, we're not about politics, we're not about any of these, because they've all let our children down, every single one of them. Let's hear that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were asked to go to Telford and we were asked to go to Rochdale, and we went, and it wasn't a weekend, these were weekdays. And unlike those people that you passed on the way here, who can't even get more than about 50 out, right, I call them pro-paedophile now, because that's what they are. They come out, they must like paedophiles. I don't get it. Do you get it? We're here, every one of us today, and we pay to come here, out of our own pockets. And when we went to Telford and Rochdale, because these other people, they don't pay. They get paid by their trade unions. And they get paid by people like George Soros, pay their money to come out and campaign. Do you know that? Every single one of you. Has anyone paid one of you lot to come here today? No, I didn't think they had. Why are we here? Because we care. Because we care about what's happening in this country to our children. So when we went to Telford and we went to Rochdale, I think we empowered some of these young girls. I hope we did, because on the back of us going there, I was amazed when we were walking through Telford, all of a sudden, what was 100 or 200 people on a weekday, when I looked behind, there was hundreds more, because the people from those towns and communities came out and they marched behind us. And they're marching with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Can I start off by applauding every one of these survivors, who are with us today, because they are so brave. They're the heroes. They're the heroes. These girls that have spoken out, that have had the courage to come here today. They're the heroes. Some other people like to take all the credit for all these things. Some of these political parties and that, as if they played a big part in it. I'm here to tell you they haven't. The people who played the biggest part are these survivors who had the courage and the strength to speak out, because it isn't easy. So give them a round of applause, please, every one of them. Right, on the back of what we did when we went to Rochdale and Telford, there was the one in Rochdale was already going, but the one in Telford Nagger, was sort of founded on the back of what we did. So if people think, you haven't made a difference, we make a difference every time we're trying to do it, and we're trying to make a difference now, and we will be making a difference in the future. They said there wouldn't be an inquiry, there is an inquiry. And we're here to make sure that they do that inquiry properly, that it's transparent, that it's independent, and that it's far-reaching. So that all these people who are complicit in this, all these people, whether they're social workers, whether they're teachers, whether they're policemen, whether they're councillors, whether they're politicians, every one of those people that play the part, as Phil said, we're coming for you as well. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get our first speaker up today. This man I met in 2017, and he'd been campaigning for years before that, with a very special lady who I met with him, called Linda Phillips. She is like the godmother of all of us here. She passed a few years ago, but I'd love to hear you all please give a round of applause for Linda Phillips. She's no longer with us, and she was doing this for 25 years. So I'm going to ask Billy Howard. Linda. Love and respect. Billy, Billy Howarth, ladies and gentlemen, at UK Rochdale. He's been doing it for 20 years. Give it up for Billy Howarth.
People here today, it gives me hope that this is going the right way. For 20 years, I've seen us hit brick wall after brick wall. Today, I've just seen that brick wall crumble. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to these guys as well, because behind the scenes they haven't stopped working to put these events on so survivors like myself can speak. And for these guys, I think they deserve a massive round of applause. My good friend Justin has just spoke to you about a lady by the name of Linda Phillips. In Rochdale, she had the nickname Mrs. Rochdale, but she soon put that to bed. She said, I'm Mrs. Hemorrhoids, because I've been up that council's arse for 30 years. Linda passed away in 2020. I was her right-hand man. She wasn't mine. She was my icon. She was the bar we all tried to reach when we're campaigning against the abuse of children. She did it for 30 years. She, like I said, that round of applause didn't do her justice. I think she can get much louder one than that. One of the things Linda was campaigning against was against MP Cyril Smith. I don't think they can hear you. That's better. And the abuse that my boys, who I stand for, from No View School, were abused on epic proportions. They've told you these guys stay here to tell you a story. For me, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of how they built a culture to cover up the abuse of children back then, and it continued today until we see this inquiry and see the outcome of this inquiry. Now, I've been about for a while, guys. I've seen the Ixer inquiry, what exposed abuse in schools like Beach Home House, like No View School, right across the UK. Children, young boys were abused by the people in Westminster and Cyril Smith and his crew. Not one person through this inquiry was held to account. We then moved on to the grooming scandal in Rochdale, which I began working on. I'm probably the only person in Rochdale that has worked with 3 girls. Nobody else has. Today they're still forgotten by the state. They've received no support. They can't be here today, but they send the love and the thanks. And they say thank you for your support. It means everything to them. Thank you. We've been to review after review. We've had Operation Augusta. Again, highlighted the absolute failings to protect your children. The absolute failures to protect the children in general right across Greater Manchester. 2 years later, they brought out Operation Span. And again, it highlighted the same failures, the same mistakes that they made in No View, that they made in Beach Home House, that they made in Operation Augusta, and that they made in Operation Span. The reason I'm telling you this is I want to show you a pattern of a culture that's established within Westminster of covering up the abuse of children. And we do so, and I want to play you a recording now, if that's possible. Yeah? This was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service in Greater Manchester. If we can play it, I want you to hear what he says. Just a few stats while we're waiting for this to go ahead, I want to remind you people of. 4,000 children in the UK were given police cautions for being prostitutes. That's 4,000 decision makers that should be before the court. 4,000 children was police caution for being a prostitute. There's no such thing as a child prostitute, ladies and gentlemen. It's just child abuse. That's it. Unfortunately, guys, we can't get the recording up. It's unfortunate, but it was Nazir Afzal, and I'll give you a quote. These girls, there was a memo sent out by the Home Office that these girls' chaotic lifestyles were the reason for their own abuse. Therefore, it's our instruction that the police do not get involved. That went reverberated right around the country. There's going to be some speakers after me, and they're going to tell you what impact that memo had and who's responsible. We have got the recording now, guys. All right. Hold on, Peter. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to get off now and leave it to the other speakers. I want to say a big thank you again to Justin, the team, Karen, Phil, and everybody here, because this is what makes the difference. This is what will see us home, and this is what will make sure a proper inquiry is what we get. Thank you.
Okay. So what, I'm just going to lead in a little bit there from what Billy was saying, right? So in 2009, a memo was sent out, right, to the chiefs of police of every force in this country. And that memo told them not to make arrests about perpetrators, about child abusers. Do not make arrests in the name of diversity. Okay? Because they didn't think that it was good for their votes. Yeah? So like a lot of these other politicians, they put votes in front of our children. So the people that sent this memo out, because I want the world to know about this, okay? The memo was sent out from Gordon Brown via Jackie Smith, who was the Home Secretary at the time. And guess who was head of the CPS at that time? Yeah, you know, don't you? Okay? So, as head of the CPS, do you not think that he might have had autonomy over that letter? That he might have wrote it himself? Yeah? As a legal advisor to the government? Yeah? Okay? So. Okay, so. Right, so, sorry. Right, so. Yeah, Keir Starmer was involved, Jackie Smith and Gordon Brown. And they sent out a memo not to make arrests. Keir Starmer was in charge of the CPS from 2008 to 2013. Yeah? Have you took that on board? Right? Because I'm going to invite somebody else up in a minute to speak to you. Because from 2013, on the back of that memo, not to make arrests, yeah? Between 2013 and 2016, in Telford alone, there was 713 allegations of child sex abuse. How many arrests do you think they made? Yeah, do we all hear that? How many? Yeah, hell yeah, none. And I'm now going to invite my good friend of mine up, Anthony Wood, who founded Telford NAGA, which helps all of these people who have been gone through this terrible, horrendous, horrific abuse in Telford, just to give you a description of what that was like in Telford at that time. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Anthony Wood from Telford NAGA, please.
Hello everyone. I spoke in, was it March, and there was a few hundred people, but to see this today is just brilliant. I want to start as well. My wife, who's a survivor, said a long time, all these people that turn out for Brexit, COVID, free speech, you know, where are they for the survivors? Well, here they are. So I've been working in Telford for a number of years now, supporting survivors, trying to get justice and campaigning. Now obviously Telford, along with Rochdale, Rotherham, you know, it was highlighted. Yeah. Now in Telford, the police have identified in Operation Chalice between 250 to 300 suspects. Operation Chalice, they convicted 7. Altogether, they convicted 11. And yet they said this operation was a success. Now, that leaves what? So 250 plus suspects still walking the streets. Is that a success? Exactly. And on the back of that, before, we were pushing for an inquiry in Telford for a number of years. And there was basically a letter that was sent to the Home Secretary stating that we don't need an inquiry in Telford. This was signed by Liberal Democrat councillors, Labour councillors, the Chief Crime Commissioner. Now, one of the people that signed this letter is a man called Sean Davis. Now, you'd think he'd lost his job. You know, would they sack him? Would they get rid of Sean Davis? He's now the MP for Telford. He also abstained from voting for a national inquiry. Can we get a big boo for Sean Davis, please? I really hope you heard that, Sean, because I don't think you'll be MP for Telford much longer. Now, Telford had an inquiry. The government said it's a blueprint for the rest of the country. On the back of this inquiry, how many people lost their jobs? None. How many people actually held accountable? None. So how's that a blueprint for the rest of the country? So I want to lead on to the national inquiry, which, by the way, when we heard Yvette Cooper speaking about the national inquiry in Parliament, we can't deny it was amazing to hear all the things that we've been pushing for years being spoken about in there. It was vindication for people like me, but more importantly, it was vindication for survivors. Because it was only a few months earlier in January where Keir Starmer basically said that they were far right for calling for a national inquiry. Shall we get a boo for Keir Starmer while we're here? I don't think they quite heard you over there, even though they're not here. Let's carry on. Now, I just want to get into as well, it's not just, we talk about Labour, we talk about Keir Starmer, but it's not just about Labour. The Tories ignored it for 14 years. You know, they're now saying they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do that. Well, what were they doing for the last 14 years? Nothing. They're all as bad as each other. They all try to play party politics. So, we need to ensure this national inquiry. For starters, we need the chair of the inquiry. We want someone, we can't trust our judiciary. We need someone, maybe a foreign judge. Who can you trust in our judiciary? No one. And on the back of that, also when they announced the inquiry, they were going to, I think they're reopening 800 cases leading to 1,000 cold cases. Let's face it, most of these cases that were NFA'd by the CPS would have been done when Keir Starmer was head of public prosecutions. We can't trust them on this national inquiry, but we need to push them to make sure they get it done right. Before I go, there's one more thing I wanted to say, and it's, I've been talking to a family recently. Across the country, there are children that never had the chance to become survivors. There are children in Telford who died, in Rochdale, Manchester, Rotherham, across the country, and they never had the chance to become survivors. There's one family I've been talking to at the moment, and there's a girl from Stoke called Jodie Sheeran, and I spoke to the family recently and they asked me to keep banging the drum. Now, Jodie fell a victim to these gangs. She had a son, who I want to say as well, Jaden. If anyone's seen Jaden Sheeran on the TV lately, who's been speaking out at 19 years of age, I want to give him a massive round of applause because he's been brilliant. He is one of the most bravest people in the country right now to stand up, and I respect him for that. Now, his mother, sadly, is no longer with us. She lost her life. After she was raped, they had DNA to prove who raped her. It went to go to court, but before the chance to go to court, on the day of the trial, the police turned up and basically said she's not a reliable witness, so we didn't go through. Now, today, they're saying it won't happen because, sadly, she's dead. She lost her life because of the trauma. And I want us to send a message to the family, to Ange, the mother, a lovely woman who's fighting as hard as she can to get justice for her daughter. We want to get justice for Jodie. We want to get justice for every survivor. And again, They may not be here today, but I want it to ring around this corrupt, sleazy area of Parliament. I want everyone to say, Jodie, Jodie, Jodie. That's to you, Ange, mate. Love to the family. Thank you all. Speak soon.
Give it up, Bradley Wood, please. Telford Nader. Right, ladies and gentlemen, very important. Somebody's flying a drone above us, and the police are saying they'll shut us down if they don't take the drone down because it's over Downing Street. So whoever's got the drone, can you please take it down, otherwise they're going to shut us down. Right. A very, very big campaigner for what's going on in this country now. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive, massive round of applause for Elizabeth Harper, please. One sec. Take it away, Elizabeth.
Hello everyone, I am Elizabeth and I come from a small northern town. Some people may have heard of it, may have never heard of it before the day of the 26th of August 2014, when my hometown dominated every news channel, every radio station, every newspaper, and everyone was talking about the day we become known as having the biggest child protection scandal ever seen in this country. We was known not just nationally but worldwide. My hometown is the infamous Rotherham. I am a grooming gang survivor of the Pakistani grooming gangs, and I am one of an estimated 1,500 plus children identified in the Alexis J report into Rotherham. One of those children that not only was abused, trafficked and raped, but was systematically failed on an industrial scale. Those that was paid to protect turned a blind eye blissfully and become complicit in the evil and horrendous abuse of children. I have always said the only reason they said sorry was because they got caught brushing this national epidemic under that big carpet they like to have as a belonging. They seem to push the narrative that Rotherham was somewhat a mistake. No, Rotherham wasn't a mistake, it was a conspiracy. Children were fed to the wolves while the perpetrators were allowed to roam free. I was abused over a period of 4.5 years. I won't go into the details, but please take a second to just imagine your worst nightmare times 1,000, and you probably still wouldn't get to the place what hundreds of children have experienced. The isolation, the fear, the normalisation of such abuse. I could go on forever. But those feelings are not what an adult faced, it was a child. Children should feel nothing but safety and to live a happy childhood. I have took the consequences of other people's crimes against me since I was 14. I am now 37. During my abuse, in just a period of 10 weeks, I was kept in a flat for the purpose of to abuse and rape me. During the 10 weeks, my parents contacted the police over 200 times. No action was taken, until something changed one day. They decided to take action. They arrested my dad, not once, but twice. His crime, he tried to get me out of the property that his daughter was getting abused daily. Looking back just at one event, as an adult, I was that even right that during the period he was the only one made accountable for my abuse. An innocent man who was going out of his mind took priority for arrest over the abusers. One of my abusers was a woman that preyed on young girls to then facilitate the abuse. With high intelligence already gathered on this offender from 1999, that's 4 years before I became a victim. The intelligence was that this particular offender had set up a fake rape crisis hotline to lure girls into exploitation. This was shut down by South Yorkshire Police in 1999. Rotherham Borough Council gave her a taxi contract to pick children up from school. She went under 9 different names. The intelligence around her was to a very high level, but still she did what she did without no consequences. When the J report came out in Rotherham, some people may have felt anger and upset and so many other emotions. I felt relieved, I felt vindicated, but I also knew that finally I wasn't that label of a naughty child that was responsible for my own abuse. The world knew we were always telling the truth. That day of the J report into Rotherham became the first step into my journey of becoming a survivor. The day I knew I had to fight not only for myself but all for those that didn't have a voice. In my journey of campaigning, I've been blessed with meeting some amazing people. People that have been through absolute hell. And I look at them and think, how did we do it? How did we survive? We fought against the odds, and here we found ourselves being shoved on the back burner again. We get media attention for a while, and then it disappears. We get false promises from those that can make the change, and then they let us down. The same old vicious circles. Then after all those times, something changed this year. One man in a different part of the world changed the narrative. That man was Elon Musk. He gave us a voice, once again. Our stories rose again. Then we saw a call for a national inquiry, and the government stood in Parliament, told the thousands of survivors and their families, no, your voice and your need for justice won't be heard or given. How is this right? And how can they justify such contempt against us? That justification was jumping on a far-right bandwagon and a dog whistle. Six full months they let us basically beg for justice, while blissfully insulting every single concerned person in this country. The audit found just exactly what the concerns and the injustice that had been raised for years. We then saw a U-turn. We was allowed an inquiry. This is when the fight starts again. We must not let them rewrite history on Britain's darkest secret. We must never become silenced again. We need this to be done. We need this to be done properly. We need to know the true extent throughout the country. We need to know the statistics to have proper data. We need to hold those that fail to account. We need to join the dots and make it what it is, organised crime. We need to see people being compelled to speak. We need to see actions, not only for us that have suffered, but for this country's children. They are our future, they should be safe and never be faced with such evil. No. Out of the 4.5 years of abuse, due to missing and destroyed paperwork, I have only one perpetrator who has been sentenced. He was sentenced to 9 years in 2018. By 2020, he was allowed to go in open prison. He did just 2.5 years in a closed prison. Licence conditions were granted that he must not come into Rotherham again. Just 8 months after, he was just half a mile away from my home. He is recalled. This week, after a paper-based parole hearing, I was given the news that parole was denied and open prison conditions was denied. The summary was something that has made me feel quite upset this week. After the last 18 months of fighting to get him back in prison and being told you have to base things on facts and the label of me being emotionally unstable, my point was proven. I would just like to read you the risk assessment. Having considered the details and the circumstances of the index offences, as well as all the other evidence before it, the panel identified a number of risk factors, things that made it more likely that Mr Boston would re-offend. These risk factors had included offending for sexual gratification, a sexual interest in young teenagers, feeling entitled to sex, associated with others who shared his interests, and having a lack of victim empathy. I wanted to share it so people have an insight of how the system doesn't work. This man was let out on automatic release with the full knowledge that he was likely to re-offend again. He was left for 8 months to potentially re-offend against children. This isn't justice, this is covering up crimes against children. I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person stood here today. Today you took part in making a stand for the children of this country, but you also gave a little bit of hope to every single survivor in this country that their voice will still keep being heard.
People like Elizabeth doing what she just did. They won't be having a national inquiry, I'm telling you that now. Please give her a massive round of applause. Right. Most of the time, I think most of the time, people hear the word grooming or grooming gang, and yeah, they may well associate it with the grooming towns, and be that what people sometimes describe whether it's Asian, Pakistani. Not all groomers are Asian or Pakistani. Let's have it straight. The Catholic Church, the Church of England, they've all been guilty of it over the years. Yeah, so let's not just sit here and call one thing out, because all these people over the years have been guilty of doing this. Yeah? So yeah, don't pigeonhole it. We'll call it. Yeah? So when you think of grooming, and you think of grooming gangs, they're not all like that. Sometimes it might be that little nice man that you've known for years and years and years, and you've let him look after your kids, yeah? And you think, what a lovely man, and the whole community likes him. The next speaker that I'm going to invite up to speak to you is going to tell you a story about this. Her child was abused, she killed the perpetrator, and she went to prison for it. I'm not applauding that. I'm not applauding that. I'm not saying applaud that, but, ladies and gentlemen, this lady, right, is next up, is going to talk to you also about a campaign that we want you all to get behind. So please give it up, yeah? Sarah Sands, please, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah's going to come out here and talk to you. Give her a round of applause, please. That's very brave. Very, very brave.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't know how much anybody knows about Della's Law, but I really appreciate your time so I can bring some awareness to it. For 20 years, those in authority have known about a loophole that has left our children vulnerable and unprotected. Due to the negligence in acting and finding a solution, children have been violated and murdered. Families continue to be ripped apart. It has taken an incredibly courageous woman to stand up and draw close to her those that will not back down or be swayed under big words and complicated legislations. Della Wright, who could not be here today, has been campaigning, fighting and gathering evidence for over 7 years to protect our children. Della has gained the support of MPs, multiple organisations and thousands of people. Della's Law is now on its second reading in Parliament under the Crime Policing Bill. I have come here today as one of those families torn apart by this loophole, and my children were amongst the children that had been affected by this loophole that should have been closed 20 years ago when they found out Ian Huntley had changed his name to get that job as a caretaker in a primary school. In 2014, I was arrested for murder, our lives already torn apart by the actions of one man who had changed his name after 30 years of abusing children to evade exposure due to changing his name and getting a clean DBS check. In these terrifying cases, both Claire's Law and Sarah's Law are not fully protecting us. Parliament knows it, the authorities know it, and they have known it for over 20 years. I wanted to be here today as a reminder that as the proposed legislation is going back and forth in Parliament, that they remember we are real people with real traumas due to the authorities' neglect in closing this loophole. Della has wrote a book, Trapped, and it's on social media as Della's Law if anybody would like any more information. It is for us to remember the power we hold in our voices to make change, spread awareness, and to save our children.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Sarah Sands, please. Okay, we've got a couple more speakers, yeah? And at the moment, 1 second please, we've got... Ladies and gentlemen, and it's got another campaign for you to get behind. It's really important we get behind these campaigns. What she just said there about Ian Huntley, yeah? Yeah? The fact that he was able to do that. And after 20 years and 30 years, these people are able to change their names and all of a sudden they lose their criminal record, yeah? We need to be on this and make sure these people do this, yeah? Right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from another young survivor here who's going to tell you a story. Please give a massive reception for Kira, please.
Hello. Bear with me because I'm a bit nervous and it's my first time. Thank you all for being here today, standing with us and lending your voice. Of course, that is too often silenced. My name is Kira and I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, but I'm more than just a survivor. I'm a person who's finding my strength, my voice, and my path to healing. At 16 years old, I just finished school and was groomed by my local shopkeeper who was 55, Harry Shankar. With the support of and encouragement of my friends and family, I pressed charges and went to court. This was a long and hard journey that went on for 5 years. Adjourned twice, I gave up so many times, and we finally made it to court in 2023 for the trial. Me and my friends were cross-examined for a whole day and made to feel like we were the criminals, only for Harry Shankar to accept a lesser charge of paying for sexual activities from a 16-year-old. Instead of taking the stand, he took the easier way out. His original charges were 2 sexual assaults and 2 sexual penetrations, and then he accepted the plea for sexual acts of a 16-year-old. I was completely destroyed all over again and made to feel like I consented and was accepting the payment for this. So far from the truth. Harry Shankar was also subject to immigration and did not have the right to remain in the UK. He should have been granted this, but after he pleaded guilty to the lesser charge, he was also granted the right to remain in the country, a failing from our Home Service and immigration. I'm still fighting this today after finding information that he is still committing offences and breaching his sexual harm prevention order. I reached out to Gurmit Singh, and from this came my documentary, Kira's Justice. If you haven't seen it, please watch, and you'll hear all about my story. I'm on YouTube, X and Twitter. This is something that I'm still living every day. My perpetrator is back in court next week for breaching his order, and let's just hope justice is finally done. I'm here because this can happen to anybody. It's not about what you look like or how you act. These people prey on the vulnerable, and I'm lucky to have the support to fight this because many other people haven't. For many years, I felt the weight of silence, carried the shame, the fear, the doubt, and all the confusion. It isn't easy, but I've learned something important. Nobody should have to carry the burden of abuse alone. No one should have to be made to feel ashamed of something that wasn't done to them. This is why I'm standing here today, and why I've created Kira's Voice for Change, number 4, just to let you know. Because I don't want survivors to know that they're not alone and their voice does matter. I want to say this clearly, there is no shame in speaking out, there is no shame in telling the truth, and no shame in seeking help. There's no shame in asking for support. This shame belongs to those who commit these unspeakable acts, not to those who have been harmed. And together, we can break the silence that has allowed abuse to continue for too long. Kira's Voice for Change is more than my story. It's a platform where we can amplify the survivors, where we can create a community that uplifts, supports and empowers one another. I believe that by sharing our stories, we make it harder for the darkness of abuse to thrive. We shed the light on truth. We bring hope to others that are still suffering in silence. And I want to actually make a change, first by spreading awareness, and then I want to find a meaningful change. And I've decided the only way that we can do that is to change the law in England to ensure that perpetrators of a child's sexual abuse cannot accept a lesser plea deal and dismiss the impact of their crimes. A petition has been submitted. Please keep an eye out on my social media for that. When it's live, please get behind it. If you are here today, if you are listening, and to the messages on social media, I want you to know your story does matter, and no matter how long it takes to find the courage to speak, people are here who will listen, support you, and who will stand by you as you begin your journey towards healing. Let today be a reminder for us all, we are not alone, we are powerful, we are brave, together, and we can make this world a safer place for children. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Phil's going to read something out to you. Give it up for Phil Hickens. Well, it's just a short statement that I want to read out. Yeah. Although we welcome the news of a full inquiry into the epidemic of child grooming rape gangs, let's not let ourselves be distracted away from the fact that Tommy Robinson was incarcerated for an airing right. Let's not get distracted away from the fact that Tommy Robinson was incarcerated for airing a documentary exposing the unbelievable case of Bailey McLaren, the 15-year-old Huddersfield schoolboy who had his life destroyed by a total media lie. We suggest everyone here today should watch the documentary Silenced. If you haven't already had, and if you haven't already watched it, then please watch it. Make sure to share it to those who haven't. We demand a full investigation. Sorry. We demand a full investigation where all witnesses are allowed to speak freely and without fear of repercussions. A total exoneration and public apology for Tommy Robinson and Bailey McLaren. For Tommy Robinson and Bailey McLaren, who, let's not forget, who is still in hiding, purely because he defended his sister's threat of rape and violence. Let's listen, while we're here, let's forget this. He's not here today, Tommy. He was going to come, but he's not well at the moment. So I want to give everyone, let's have a round of applause for Tommy Robinson. I see ya. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to add a small bit to that. That man started the campaign, started campaigning, in 2009. Think about that, 2009. We've been doing it for a while, but that man's been doing it a hell of a lot longer. And I think we should all doff our hat and thank him for what he's been doing for our children. The last few years now, and he's always very well received. He's a very, very good friend of Tommy Robinson's. I'm going to give you up now. Daddy, come on and have a word, mate. Give it up for Daddy, please.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for everyone for coming, and let's have a big round of applause for everyone behind For the Children campaign who's been doing this. For the stewards, for the security, because this wouldn't happen without them. So, there comes a time though when silence becomes complicity. Today isn't one of those days, because today is the day that we tear off the mask and we show this country exactly what it has become. Let me make this clear. Our children weren't just failed. They were fed to the wolves and the government held the lead. Don't you dare let them say this is neglect, because neglect is forgetting a birthday. Neglect is about missing a parents' evening. This is none of them, because this was grooming. This was rape. This was the political protection of paedophile networks, and only now they were forced to admit it. Because Baroness Louise Casey, she's not one of ours, she's one of the Labour's own. She exposed the truth of what we have been saying for decades upon decades. That police officers have ignored the victims. Survivors were labelled as liars and slags. Gangs ran wild under the nose of the state, and nobody did a thing. This wasn't just failure, this was a strategy. A strategy to keep the Muslim vote happy. A strategy to appease community leaders. A strategy to silence the working class while our daughters were dragged into hell. Where was Keir Starmer when the grooming gangs were being protected? He was the director of public prosecution after all, and he shut down the very first serious investigation. So no, like he claimed, he didn't stop it. He helped to bury it. He's a liar. And where were the Conservatives? They were too busy hosting iftars in Parliament and grovelling to hate preachers while our children were getting groomed. And what now? They're going to hand out medals and tell us that lessons have been learned? No, they haven't. So we are not talking anymore. We are going to be demanding justice. I have multiple demands over multiple places because I don't play policy games, and I'm here to draw a line in the sand. I demand a national criminal investigation into the political cover-ups of grooming gang, starting with Keir Starmer. I demand the prosecution of any MP, any police officer or social worker who facilitated abuse through silence. I demand grooming gang survivors receive state-funded trauma support, way above what they give the illegals and the asylum seekers. And I demand a public trials for the paedophile protection networks. Televised, let the people see! And here's where I go further, because I demand the end of multiculturalism as a policy. It has failed, it has cost lives, it ends now. I demand remigration of anyone who refuses to adopt British principles. I don't care where they came from. If they treat our daughters like me and our country with disrespect, they can leave. I demand the end of Islamic supremacy in British public life. You want Sharia? Go to Saudi. Here we live under common law. Here our women and children come first. You see, what's going to happen now is the left and all the mainstream medias, they are going to incorrectly call this hate speech. So they want to play that game with me. Okay, good. I'm going to play it. Because yes, I hate evil. I hate paedophiles. I hate cowards who trade girls for votes. I hate lies disguised as tolerance. I hate the wolves in the suits. And I hate the silence in power. And if you don't hate these two, then you're part of the problem. So this will be a righteous hate. It's what built empires, and it's what defends the innocents. And to those over there watching in Parliament in Westminster, let me remind you this. You knew, and you let it happen anyway. And now the people know too. You let sitters falls into gang control. You arrested the whistleblowers. You even jailed Tommy Robinson for exposing it, while the groomers and the rapists he named walk free. You let children bleed because their parents were the wrong kind of victim. And when they did come forward, you called them racist. You took away their voice. You destroyed any type of justice for them. And now they want to talk about healing. Okay, we will heal this country when the guilty are in prison and the people are back in charge. And God bless that one over there with the UKIP flag. That's who we need to get there. That's who's going to be doing it. And I will be standing for them. And I'm proud to be doing that. So let me just finally say a few things here, and I'm going to make it loud and clear because I am done being polite. I am done playing nice. And we are never, ever going to stop, because we are the Britain they hoped that died. We are the voice they tried to ban. And we are the judgment that they fear and the reckoning that they deserve. We demand consequences. We demand justice. And finally, we demand Britain back! Come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Danny Roscoe! Don't be shy, come on, come out here. It's what this is about. Give these girls a round of applause.
Hey. Hi! They're not children, they're just young women. But not just women, young women. Women with a voice. Make some noise if you're a survivor. Yes, make some noise if you know a survivor. I'm a survivor. And I'm an ambassador for the Enough to End Rape social deterrent campaign. My perpetrator is a 3-time convicted child sex offender, and he's back in the community for a 3rd time. He has an offending history spanning 5 decades, starting in 1983, where he pleaded guilty in a court of law and walked free. He is an associate of Jimmy Savile, and he's back in the community after a 3rd conviction. I am angry. Who is angry here? And I'm the kind of person who, whilst I'm passionate and angry and could kill him, I'm not going to, because here we are taking action and advocating and doing our activism. And I want to tell you about this really important social deterrent initiative that Enough has come up with. And that's not me, that's Katie and Tom, but they can't be here today, so I'm representing the Enough. What it is self-testing DNA rape kits. We want every family in the country to have one of these kits at home, next to their COVID kit, next to a pregnancy test kit, and whatever else you test for at home. And you, if you don't want to go to the police, we're not saying instead of, we're saying as an alternative to, because let's face it, the police actually haven't been very helpful to survivors, have they? So we've come up with our own plan. And this is to give the power and some control and the narrative back to the survivors. This is survivor-led social justice, social deterrent. It's a kit. You can swab within 48 hours of being attacked or raped. You can send it in an envelope, free post, to the lab, and your perpetrator's DNA will be held on file forever. So that when you're ready to go to the police, or if you want to, you can, because you've collected the data and it has to be collected within 48 hours. And most women and girls who have been raped don't really acknowledge it until days later, so they've missed the important 48-hour window. That's why everyone needs one of these self-testing DNA rape kits. What do you think? Do you think this is a cool idea? Can you believe we haven't had something like this? Because this technology has been available since the 1960s. Who doesn't want this kit in the public space? I'll tell you who. It's a government that sanctions, it's state-sanctioned gaslighting of victims and survivors to shut us up, keep us quiet, keep us disempowered, so that they can perpetuate their own political agenda, whatever it is they want to do. And we're saying we're not having it no more. Everyone needs to get one of these kits. There's a QR code. Give one to your daughter, to your grandmother, to your aunt, your sister, and all you football fans, all you men, get a kit and give it to one of your loved ones. So that way you are very much a part of the deterrence against rape and violence against women and girls in our community. Thank you so much.
I've got my glasses now. Oh, shoe. Okay. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, right, I'm going to start doing a few thank yous and a few acknowledgements. Over the course of the last 8 years, I'm talking about things from the football lads to what we're doing now, combined with For the Children. A lot of people put feet on the ground, and a lot of people done things in the background. We had so many things, admins that worked with the FLA for years, monitoring all the phone calls and the messages we get. Sometimes you do get lunatics coming up who are far right, unlike us lot. Yeah, and we have people that stop all that coming through. We have all of for 8 years now. See all these people here in these yellow vests, yeah? And the visas and the guys who are around the back here. Can you give them a round of applause? Because they do this for nothing. The stewards, please, give it up, please, for everyone here. They've been doing it for years. They don't get paid, unlike these people down the road who want to come and do all these anti-protests. The pro-paedophile ones, I call them. Yeah, on top of that, we've got a lot of other people behind the scenes. So I'm going to ask some of them to get up so that you see some of these people are, because you don't see them. You won't see them like me and Phil today. They're all the people in the background who do so much work. Please come along. Give these people a round of applause because they work really hard. I see these people down here. Glenn, Phil, the SED boys. Where's my SED boys? Give these blokes. See these boys here? They come and do security for us. They've been doing it for years. Phil, Greg, every one of you. I salute every one of you. Yeah. All these guys here, the media, the mainstream media don't cover this. These people here do. Yeah, and that's how people get to see it. And that's how, with the help of Elon Musk, Elon, salute you, mate. Give him a round of applause. I agree with that. Elon, I hope you're going to share this. I hope you share this around the world because you played a part in all of this. And we acknowledge you and we thank you. And these media boys here, boys and girls that are here, all of you, we appreciate it. There's a few other people I'd like to thank. There's a guy behind here, Will, come out here, mate. Will does the sound for us. Where's Mark? Mark, you here, mate? Mark, get yourself up here. See this lorry? He has kittens every time. He has murders having to get this in. Ladies and gentlemen, give Mark a round of applause, please. HCV, here he is. Right. There's a few people, ladies and gentlemen, that aren't with us today, that started this journey with us. And so many to mention, but amongst Terry Houlihan, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Davis, you want to give it up for Terry Houlihan? Yeah? And Moses will have from Millwall, he was part of all this to start with. Stevie Ross, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, good shout, Phil. Steve Ross, good man. There's a lot of others that aren't here anymore that started this journey. Let's not forget them. Okay, see these people here, right? Tony, Carl, Glenn, Greg, Phil, and Liam. Come round here, Liam. Liam films all this stuff for us. If you want to catch up on this, Liam Galvin, go on YouTube. All these guys here, go and look at what they do. Yeah, give them a round of applause, because they cover these events. They ain't getting paid to come here. Unlike all these mainstream media people, they turn up here and they do a bit of good. I salute every one of you. Thank you very much. And lastly, but by no means least, and I mean by no means least, yeah, every one of you people that's put feet on the ground for the last 8 years, yeah, that came to Telford, that came to Rochdale, that came to London, whoa, and in the background here, Mr. Singh, hello, give these man a round of applause. Can see the Sikhs, by the way, yes, how are you, mate? Thank you for coming, yeah. Because the Sikhs of Mohan Singh spoke on the first march, we did. Yeah, and I'm going to say it because I don't think people realise that the Sikh community, they were victimised. They were targeted as well by the grooming gangs. It wasn't just English kids, and it isn't just English children now that they do it to. They do it to the Sikh community, and the Sikh community needs to stand with these people because they're good people. Give them a round of applause, please, for the Sikhs. And another one that along the way they've come along and supported us many, many times. The Gurkhas, good people, the Gurkhas, they fought for this country. Let's hear it for the Gurkhas as well. Along the way, we marched together many, many times. They come with us many, many times. And I'd like to hear every one of you give a round of applause for the veterans of this country. Yeah. It's wrong the way the veterans in this country are treated. 10,000 veterans sleep rough on the seats of the country they fought for every night. Yeah? It's not right. The way we treat our veterans is a national disgrace. We need to call it out. Sama, you need to sort this out. Our veterans are worth more than this, while you house other people that have never paid a penny in tax, never mind fought for this country. Let's hear it for the veterans. I'm going to pass you over to my mate Phil.
When we launched the For the Children campaign on the 22nd of March, we had some very brave people speak on the stage, survivors, right? And they've come on board with us and they're doing an amazing job researching stuff and just coming on board and helping us. These people, where's the others? Right, I want you all to give it up for the survivors, yeah, because these are the people we're doing this for. They're the ones that matter, not me, not Justin. These people, yeah, we're doing it for them, and they're doing it for themselves. They've been out there for years and years and years campaigning, yeah. They are the heroes. They are the proper heroes, not us. They are. Also, the For the Children campaign, we're trying to start groups in every area because we want to do a national day of action. So if any of you are interested in starting a group in your area, we've got one already around Portsmouth area, all around now. Please get in contact with us on our Facebook pages, just Together for the Children, and you know, because this day, National Day of Action, has to be big. It has to be at the same time in many areas up and down the country, yeah? So if anyone is interested in doing that, get started a For the Children group in your own area, please get in touch with us, yeah? I'd also like to thank Jay Herndon for sponsoring us with the lorries and everything. These people do an amazing job and they sponsor us, so I'd like to thank them as well, yeah? But and on top of it, you lot, amazing, absolutely amazing, yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've just been asked very quickly to shout, Kira, you give it a shout again, please, Kate, because this is important to get behind this campaign.
Please follow Kira's Voice #4 Change on social media.
Right. There's a few other people I'd just like to thank. Karen, come here, mate. This is Karen Edmonton, who's done so much behind the scenes as well. Yeah. And my wife, who I haven't even seen today, I don't even know if she's here, I apologise. If she's here, she was up at 5 o'clock this morning making sandwiches for all these people. So Jenny, wherever you are, give her a round of applause, because I won't need the end of that otherwise. Okay? I don't know if I've left anyone out here, but going forwards, here's a little thing for you. Going forwards, we've got plans to take this to other towns and around the country. Yeah, so you'll be hearing about that. So watch, follow the pages, and you'll see what we're going to be doing, because we're planning to do something in October. And there is a documentary for all you football lads. There's a documentary that documents our journey for the last 8 years, from 2017 to now, and we're for the children. Yeah, combined, we all work together. Yeah, it's all part of the same thing. It comes out on Saturday the 2nd of August. You'll be able to download it then, so you'll be able to buy it. Hopefully, Elon Musk will share that for us, and we'll get our story out, because apparently we're all far right in that. We'll show all these people what we do in the background and what we've all been doing for years. Yeah? Lastly, I'll give every single one of you a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming today. You make us proud and you make this worthwhile. Thank you. Thank you very much. Every one of you, thank you very much. We're going to play you a song now, Karen. Yeah.
Listen, the beers are on Justin in the pub up the top there, so we'll see you afterwards, yeah? All the beers are on Justin, yeah? Thanks for coming, brilliant. I want you to listen to this song as well.
Film it all for Instagram reels. Laugh and joke as young blood spills. Another boy soldier KIA, and the politicians seem MIA. The county lines and postcode wars. It could happen to mine, it could happen to yours. For our sons and daughters, for all girls and boys, we must make a stand. We must make some noise. It's not too late, but it's now or never. We must act as one. We must come together. His laptop full of cruel intention showed remorse a judge will mention. A sentence gifted in suspension. He works in education, saved by legislation. The laws are a joke and the system is broke. It all needs investigation. For our sons and daughters, for all girls and boys, we must make a stand. We must make some noise. It's not too late, but it's now or never. We must act as one. We must come together. Grooming gangs hunt girls 13. The police won't act on what they've seen. Things worse now than they've ever been. Our children need protection from political correction. The sound of your name shapes the rules of the game. The working class, they seem fair game. For our sons and daughters, for all girls and boys, we must make a stand. We must make some noise. It's not too late, but it's now or never. We must act as one. We must come together. For our children we will shine a light. For our children we take up the fight. For our children we stand and we may fall. For our children we will risk it all. For our sons and daughters, for all girls and boys, we must make a stand. We must make some together.